Magic Overtime with Dante and Galante is brought to you by Tobacco Free Florida.
Kick it. From our Magic Studios in Orlando, Florida, this is Magic Overtime with Dante and Galante.
And the show continues from our Orlando Magic studio. Somehow we get another show. Magic Overtime with Dante and Galante keeps going. I'm just appreciative we get to come back.
I'm glad my name's still on the front of the show.
We're going to keep that on there. We're pleased to be joined by Adonal Foyle, Magic Big Man, and, well, a little different than the internet show. You know, we crammed you into the little radio suite, but now we got a different setup here.
Yeah, we're big time. I mean, I forgot about the tie thing, you know, so I'm casual today.
That's
and,
just
tried
me.
to show me up.
I'm the day manager at Chick-fil-A. I'm the day manager at Chick-fil-A. I had to rush over to do the show, and I have to get back to do the biscuits.
Normally he wears a WNBA T-shirt. So the tie's pretty nice.
Yeah, my midriff is showing a lot of times too.
Yeah, this is a lot better.
Yeah, okay.
All right, Donald, we want to introduce you to our producer back in the radio studio. He is Mad Dog. Mad Dog, how are you? What do you got there?
I'm doing pretty well, guys. As you can see, I'm wearing a Colgate University
Oh,
sweatshirt.
in the house, yeah!
As you guys know, Adonal and I are both proud alumni. So, Adonal, I have this question for you. Forbes magazine has us ranked as the number 44 university in all of the United States. So don't you think we should be a little higher, considering we did produce the guy who wrote Galante's favorite song of all time, Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer?
Oh, he's a Colgate
You know,
alum.
I absolutely think so. I mean, it doesn't make any sense. I mean, we're in the middle of nowhere. We have a beautiful campus, and you know what more could you do at Colgate? I mean, there's so many beautiful things there, and you know, you get a wonderful education, and you get to enjoy upstate New York. What could be better than that?
Look, Mad Dog went to Colgate Community College in Idaho. There's
Somewhere
no
in-
way.
Somewhere in Wyoming.
Yeah,
I think he went to that.
He wrote on that sweatshirt with a magic marker too.
Class
Look at that.
of 04, guys.
You might have been on the campus one time. That's about it. Well, yeah, obviously you went to your Stetson University.
That's right.
I'm Liberty University. So we are going to ask you to dumb it down for us.
Yeah. Three-syllable words only, please. Only
no big
three.
words. Just
That's right.
Yeah, we're going to try to keep up with you. All right, but talk about, he does bring up a good point. I don't think a lot of people know that, or certainly the ones that do. When you left Colgate University, no one had more block shots in the history of NCAA Division I. That's quite a feat for when you.
Yeah, and it was a lot of fun because when I went to Colgate, one of the things we tried to do was to beef up the schedule to play a lot more prominent teams and stuff. So we added Syracuse to the schedule. We started doing a lot of preseason tournaments, playing Stanford and different places, Nebraska, Mississippi State. So we played a lot of better schools in order to give me a lot of exposure when I was there. But I mean, Colgate, I mean, it's totally fascinating. I mean, I really got an opportunity to really do both basketball and serious academics at the same time, and that was key for me.
And how did you how did they find you and bring you up to Hamilton, New York, and to go to Colgate?
I know. I was born in Canawan, and then I went to Union Island for primary schools, secondary school. And while I was there, Union Island had there was a soldier that went out to fight with the Americans. I can't remember which war, but he brought basketball back because he learned on the ship where he was with American soldiers. He learned how to play basketball, and he brought the game back to the island. And on Union Island, where I went to high school, the community came together and they built a court. They all like put together in the bill of code. They raised their own money to do it, and then basketball became a big part of
what you would have been 6'8", you had to have been dominating that island.
6'6",
you had 6'6".
6'6".
I would have been dominating that island.
6'6", 6'7", all of 150 pounds and rolling. My legs were like this big, but you know, I started playing when my first day in school. This kid was like, "You got to play basketball. You got to play basketball. You're tall. You know, you got to play basketball." And I remember he went out and showed me, the game, and he was like, "Okay, you know, you get the rebound, pass it to me," and then he was like making all these fancy moves, behind his back
like
and
dribbling.
making layup. And I'm like, this
Shooting.
is boring. All I get to do is rebound and block shots.
Right,
So I grab a rebound and I ran the full length of the court and I laid it up, and I looking around. I'm like looking for my props, and like everybody was on the floor like laughing hysterically. I'm like, "What happened?" They're like, "You forgot to dribble the ball, you idiot."
Is that right?
So that was my
Nice.
introduction to basketball. Hopefully I've come a long way since then.
Yeah. and your biggest roles are rebounding and blocking shots. So imagine
Funny
that.
how that worked out.
Imagine that. Now, this show almost didn't happen.
Right.
Not the Dante and Galante overtime. This show with Adonal Foyle
That too.
almost didn't happen. Well, yeah, that too. I mean, you got traded a few weeks ago to Memphis. And now, luckily, you're back. And that was the stipulations of getting you on the show, is that we had to make sure you were traded, waived, and then brought back. And then we could have the show with you, Adonal.
All that had to happen.
All that had to happen. And lucky for us, all the pieces came together.
The stars aligned,
Yes.
and now you're back.
I was just thinking I got no love, you know. I mean, I see everybody up here. I'm looking from the game and I'm seeing a different person. I'm like, what happened to me? You know, I thought we were boys. You know, I did the radio many times and nobody invited me to show my face.
Absolutely.
I mean, am I that ugly?
No, it's called strategic planning. It's called strategic planning.
right.
We had to wait till everything was lined up for you.
But for those that don't know much about Adonal Foyle, I mean, or could learn more, we wanted to talk to your teammates and find out what they had to say about Adonal.
Oh, that's frightening.
But not your Magic teammates. We wanted to catch up with your Grizzly teammates. Go ahead and roll the footage. Do we have the footage?
He's a cool guy. I really didn't talk to him that much off the court, but on the court he seemed real cool, down to earth, and seemed like a pretty fun guy. He knows the game very well.
He seemed like a
I
pretty
can hardly
fun guy.
remember him being in the locker room. So
His accent, I can't really say it how he said, but he got a real accent that you hear good. I remember we used to. I think we was losing bad one time at halftime, and he was coming in and he was trying to encourage the young guys, and he was talking about we got to play hard, and it was kind of hard not to laugh with his accent, to take him like serious, but that's what I remember. Well,
we didn't want to make fun of him too early because we were just getting to know him. We didn't know if he was gonna, blow up on us or something like that. So we were all trying to, get a feel of what he was like. But after a while, learning, that he was a, nice guy, but a real funny guy that you like to mess around with. I think guys started to open up a little bit.
I enjoyed his company for the week or 2 weeks that he was there. He's a great dude. He's gonna go far in this league, long career.
I wish you would have blown up. I wish you would have just blown
I
up.
think what you're missing is that last sound by Darius Miles. Did you hear him say that?
I did.
He's going to do some big thing. He's going to have a long career in this league. Attaboy, Darius.
10 more years.
How to pay attention, Darius.
10 more years. 10 more years.
Are you capable of blowing up in the locker room?
Absolutely.
Oh,
At any
okay.
moment now,
I take back what I said then. Yeah. I take that all back.
But that had to have been interesting. I mean, an interesting couple of weeks for you, certainly.
It is. I think that one of the for me, the most amazing thing about this league is that in an instant things change, and you have to be flexible to be an NBA player because you just never know what's going to happen during the course of your career. And if you plan on being around in the league for a very long time, the one thing that is almost guaranteed is that things are going to happen, and it's going to be unpredictable for a while. So I think once you kind of get over that, then you can just see things for the value in it and learn from every experience that you have.
But you were so fortunate though because nothing did happen. I mean, there probably was some internal things, but you stayed in the same spot for 10 years. That's a unique thing in this league.
Which was very rare. And I stayed the same place. I used to say I was in the same location, but change happened to me because I've had 8 coaches
Right.
in
Well,
the
that's
10
true.
years. So it's like
You're stable, but everything around you is in
Everything around
disarray.
me
Things
seems
are
to change.
rotation. Right. Well, it is, and kudos to you, Adonal, because you did have in your clause you could have nixed that deal if you didn't want to go to Memphis, like I would have done. Had they traded me, I would have nixed it. There's no way I would have gone.
I've tried to trade you 5 times so far this season.
I know, but I have bird rights,
Yes,
so I'm not going
I know.
there.
Your name
but
is
kudos
first.
to you. You didn't like Devin George did the
Right.
year a couple years ago. I mean, you did, and you didn't want to ruin what was happening here, and it all worked out where you came back.
Yeah, well, I think, you have to the game is bigger than any one person, but if you really truly love the people that you play with, I think the ultimate sacrifice is be willing to do something for them that is like, very generous and very genuine and not really expect anything in return. And to me, that's the greatest gift that you give to a friend and people that you care about. So even if I didn't come back, I thought that, this is what this team needed. When Jameer went down, it was a big thing. I mean, this team we started to worry. I mean, here is a person who was probably having one of the most amazing year and then went down. And, the team has to figure out a way how you're going to get through those games and be able to compete in the playoff. And we needed a point guard. And to me, to stand in the way of that would be very selfish. And I couldn't see myself doing that if you really love the guys that are here and trying to be a part of what they were trying to do and the way you started off the year. So I would do that 100 times over.
Magic Overtime with Dante and Galante is brought to you by Tobacco Free Florida.